Hang in
Dude,
there. It is.
that's Smylie Kaufman for 61. Wow.
I'm Smylie Kaufman, and this is The Smylie Show.
It is The Smylie Show. He is Smylie Kaufman. I am Charlie Hulme. And this is Larry the Gnome. For all of you watching on YouTube, second co-host appearance of the week. Although I'll say, Smylie, maybe a good place to start is thank you to all of you who are watching on YouTube for all of your suggestions for gnome names.
I have not had a chance to read the comments.
Can I run you through a few?
Yeah, besides Larry, what were some of the leading candidates for potential names?
We had Seamus.
Ooh, that's a good name.
Seamus.
Seamus makes too much sense.
We had Vern, a Vern Lundquist, you know,
Yeah.
honoring Vern especially after today.
Yeah.
We had a McTavish.
No, that's off the board.
So we had a lot of Scottish type suggestions, maybe because of the tartan pants there. We had a Winchester.
That's really good. That's really good.
It's pretty good, right? We had an Archibald, aka Archie the Gnome.
Yeah, that's really good too. Wow.
Duncan,
Nah.
Oscar,
Nah.
and then we had Lee Scott 7714 said you got to stick with Larry. You don't want a gnome with an identity crisis. So I'll say for this, what this is inspired is I think we need to make this a trend. Every year I need to get a gnome when we, you know, if we're fortunate enough to be credentialed next year, we need to get a gnome every year and add to our Smylie Show gnome family.
Good looking guy.
It's a great looking guy. I'll also say this.
I can't unsee Larry though.
It's Larry, and we had at Turtle Lover 237, who might be our neighbor, because they commented and said, "Did you film this at your rental house at 9:30 last night?" And I'll say this, Turtle Lover, if that's your dog barking, could you please bring the dog inside, because it's making recording really difficult. So, but thank you for watching, though. Most importantly, we're here, of course, to break down Sunday at the 2024 Masters, and we have a champion, not a new one, a two-time champion, Scotty Scheffler, who just kind of did Scotty Scheffler things on Sunday. And it looks like you want to jump right in here. So let's just get your opening thoughts on this one.
I can't believe that we didn't start out immediately in recognizing that we can't miss.
We cannot miss, Smylie. It is. We're going to have to kind of, you know, memorialize this moment, because we've now picked 5 of the last 8 winners on the PGA Tour. And it's not like we're just picking them, you know, we're picking winners. We're picking them in a one and done format, which makes it probably even all the more difficult. Now, 2 of those winners have been Scotty Scheffler.
Free bingo square, as you call it, which is fair. My bingo square is gone, so is yours. And I don't see Scotty not winning the rest of the year. So we might have some, hopefully, if second place is our best, if that's all we can do, then you're just going to have to be happy with that.
I hope you all play in a one and done format where you get, you know, some sort of, you're either doing off earnings or points or whatever, and you get credit for the second place finishes, because yes, we are unfortunately out of Scotty Scheffler uses for the rest of the year for one and done. So we'll bid you farewell, our sweet prince, Scotty Scheffler. Thank you so much for getting us here. I mean, and then to even take that further, Smylie Kaufman put a little tweet out earlier today. It said, "I'm predicting Scotty winning at 11 under." I mean, you can't miss, bud.
We can't miss. I mean, some of your hits have been insane on Akshay and
Jake Knapp. You had Stephen Yeager, of course.
Yeager
that was a great pull.
Was a nice hit as well. But yeah, I mean, 11 under, that seemed like a pretty natural thing to bet on Scotty just pulling away from the field and leaving everybody in the dust. But well, yeah, let's get into it a little bit on Scotty Scheffler and him winning this week. And by the way, this is really good iced tea that I'm drinking.
Love iced tea.
Yeah, it's a really good iced tea.
Really refreshing at the end of a long week. Yeah.
But
thank you, Brian Kroll, for the iced tea. Really good iced tea.
Let's just kind of talk about setting the day up and what we expected.
Mm-hmm.
I think we all saw the leaderboard and said to ourselves, this is going to be an epic battle with so many different names. We have chasers, guys that are within 5 shots of the lead, which felt, you know, somewhat attainable when we're watching the morning coverage and we see early eagles. We see the 15th more playable, the hole locations that are more receptive. And guess what didn't play out? That. And it reminds me a little bit of Bay Hill this year. We had this incredible leaderboard where there's so many different options on who could win this week, and there's going to be so many putts on 18 of kind of similar to the moments that we've experienced with Tiger Woods holding a big putt on 18. And so we're all thinking, like how many people are going to be in the playoff, heading on Sunday night. And guess what happened? It was a repeat of Bay Hill, and Scotty said, "See you later."
I mean, if we're going to continue on the predictions train, there was a pundit on the show that said Scotty was going to win 4 straight starts in a row and missed that by 2 shots. We should probably track him down and get him to update that because Scotty
said that.
I'm trying to recall who said that on the show.
Was it me?
No, it was me.
It was you. Okay.
That was bad joke construction. My apologies.
Sorry, you should have cued me in there.
I should have made that a little more obvious. Yeah. I mean, look, I thought he was going to win 4 starts in a row. We said before this week, you said, hey, he's probably going to win by like 5 shots or 6 shots, something like that. He wins by 4 shots. We could go in, and we probably will over the course of this episode, go into detail on the depths of Scotty's brilliance. I mean, it's the closest thing we've seen to Tiger Woods since prime Tiger Woods. He's at the point where if he putts above average with this new spider putter, he will win by a lot of shots. I mean, his last 4 starts bear that out. The place that I'm trying to be positive about this because I had a lot of people who hit me up today and text in person, just like, this is so boring. Like, this is not going to be fun anymore. So like Scotty's just going to win everything. I'm trying to spin this in a positive direction. And here's where I go. The first place I go is this. I think we're going to look back in, 4, 5 years, 10 years, and there's going to be some Golf Channel feature or, whatever we're watching in 5, 10 years, Peacock, whatever, that's, detailing all of the Scottie Scheffler, Ludvig Aberg duels in majors that happened in that span of time. Because this to me was
that's
like,
who you're picking. You're picking Ludvig to be the guy.
I think Ludvig's going to be the guy. This is how I feel about Ludvig. Is like we've seen this trend in the modern college basketball and the NBA where you get these guys that are like 6'8" to 7 feet. They can shoot outside. They can go inside. They can guard every position. It's like the modern player. Ludvig is the modern tour pro where he just doesn't have any flaws really, and he's only going to get better and better as he gets more experience. I mean, this is, he talked about on this show, how much he was looking forward to playing in this major, and he goes out and he's had not a bad year, but this is one of his better finishes this year. Goes out and finishes second in a major. Really only makes 2 bad swings the entire day. The approach shot on 11 that he kind of pulls, cooks a draw and ends up in the water, and then a pulled tee shot on 15 that ended up in a par where he could have really used a birdie or an eagle to threaten Scotty a little bit. But to me, it's like, if I'm trying to take positives away, I'm like, I think that's going to be the rivalry. I think it's going to be those 2 guys battling in majors for years to come. Do you like that?
I think there's plenty of guys. I think the depth of pro golf, I don't think it's just Ludvig. There's so many other great players. And if you're going to win a major championship, you're going to have to beat Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah.
And that's the arrow. We talked about it a little bit yesterday, but that's what future major championships are all going to be about, is who's going to be the guy that can go and beat Scotty Scheffler. And listen, he's not going to be perfect forever. He's going to have some form of slump, you'd have to imagine. But could have one pretty soon. As it stands right now, man, it's hard to unsee Scotty Scheffler not winning multiple majors this year.
I wholeheartedly agree. I mean, I almost
or the Grand Slam You can't win the Grand Slam unless you win the first one, folks.
Let's take this in a little bit of a fun direction here because we're proud to be recent dads. I've got number 2 on the way. Like, I'm all about the dad life.
Congrats, by the way. Has that been announced on the pod? Did you just kind of drop that?
Did I break the news?
I think you just kind of dropped that, bro.
Breaking news: we have a baby girl on the way in October. I tell you what, I'm gonna love shopping for baby girls.
Yeah, we got shopped over there in the merch this week.
Was so much fun. There were so many little dresses I picked out for her.
Yeah, sure.
I was like, I'm really gonna love shopping for a baby girl. So we're excited about that. But I say that to say, love all things dad.
Also, by the way, before I forget, now that Charlie's going to be a girl dad, since we're taking names for the gnome, we're taking names for the girl. So please send all your suggestions for what Charlie should name his
in
baby
the comments
girl
on YouTube, please. Archibald,
or should we go or wrong answers only is actually a better way to do this.
Well, I'll take them all.
Yeah.
And I promise you, the next pod episode we'll read them. We'll read them right here. We'll recap them. We'll vote on them. I love that. Yeah, please do. So I'll have that to look forward to. But I think as it relates to Scotty here, like if we can have a little bit of fun with this, like first of all, do we think his game's going to dip? Because so the baby's supposed to arrive end of April.
You're all about the baby dad dip.
It's you tell me. How many months or how many weeks or months did it take you to adjust to the new sleep schedule of being a dad?
It was really hard, but
can we give Scotty any tips?
I mean, it just depends if you want help or not, right? Like you can make it as pretty easy, you know.
Oh, you're saying like with nannies or stuff like that?
Yeah.
But he just doesn't.
He seems kind of old school, yeah. He strikes
me as he wants to be an involved dad.
Yeah, he seems kind of like the Gruden Grider in there, which I love. But also, guess what doesn't help for your game? I mean, dad back's a thing. We've talked about this on the show.
100%.
Dad back's a thing, and that could be the only thing that ruins our grand slam of Scotty Scheffler this year. Is the dad back. Nobody can prepare yourself for the deadlift at 4 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, I mean,
you can't be ready for it. You could stretch all you want, getting out of the bed, crack your back, but when the bullets fly and you got to get in there and get your boy or girl. I'm not sure if they're having a boy or a kid.
I actually don't know if they've announced that.
Yeah. Regardless, deadlift 4 a.m. over consecutive 2 weeks of no sleep and dehydration. Good luck, bro. Good luck.
That's such a fair point because it's not like you can do anything to I think there's a structure, and you could probably speak better to this than I can, but there's a structure involved in the life of a professional athlete in terms of this is when I'm going to work out, this is when I'm going to go practice. There's no structure around a newborn baby. It's you're just on that baby's time.
At least for the first couple of weeks. Like you could start getting on a schedule and by maybe third week or maybe right at the end of the first month, but the first couple of weeks is just survive in advance.
And so that falls smack
right in the
down. PGA. I don't think he's going to win the PGA because I commend him for that. Like I hope he does not win the PGA because he's being such a good dad. That's my hope for Scotty and Meredith Scheffler.
I really like Scotty at the PGA
though. It's almost funny.
I played it at a buddy's wedding last summer.
Valhalla.
Yeah.
And do you like the course fit for him?
He's a member at Valhalla. Yeah, I do.
But
I like a lot. I like Wyndham Clark a lot there.
Is there anywhere you don't like Scotty in terms of course fit?
I shouldn't have said that.
Are you? Oh, was that your pick that you're trying to shield from me? I might go in a different direction. I got to figure out when I'm going to use Ludvig.
Oh yeah, Ludvig's going to be really good there.
This year.
Yeah, think about Rory won there, and that's to me is very similar games. All right, let's get back to the Masters. We've kind of gone on a little bit of a. Let's recap that, and we'll start doing all of our random stuff. And good news, I think the pizza's on the way.
Oh, yeah, we're going to have to take a break in the middle of this episode so we can eat some pizza.
Sorry, I keep looking at my phone. It's not because something's more important. Actually, it is. The pizza's really important right now.
Unfortunately. The pizza is the delivery of the pizza means that we can deliver you a good show because we are both
full
starving.
bellies.
So that's full bellies, clear hearts, can't lose, things of that nature. I think, really on the Scotty thing, I mean, that's the only thing I think that can derail him is him being wired the way he is and trying to be a good dad and trying to get used to the cadences of not having sleep and stuff like that. But I think, that's why we're joking, but I say it in a semi-serious context of like, I don't think he wins the PGA because of that. But then I think he wins at least one of the U.S. Open or the Open Championship this year, and maybe both.
Yeah, I mean, hard to rule him out. But you got to watch a lot of the coverage today, and so did I. I kept an eye on it most of the day, and I really want to kind of run through just a general timeline of the leaderboard, just to be just general reactions of, oh my gosh, is this person going to win it? And it felt that way. The seesaw of the first 7 holes, to me, that was really cool to kind of not know who was going to win the Masters for the first hour and a half of the show.
Yeah, I think so. If we're kind of starting with here's how I thought about the flow of the leaderboard. I was trying to keep tabs on this because I think it's kind of paints a picture of the day. The two sort of challenges that we did not really discuss in depth last night that sort of entered the picture were Tommy Fleetwood and Cam Smith. And Cam, we talked about in our preview show, and you know how much I love Cam. Like
Eagle 2, hole out bunker shot. And I know you're a huge Cam Smith guy.
Love Cam Smith. And especially here, like he's gonna get it done at some point. Finishes T6, at 2 under. He shoots 71 today. Probably could have gotten more out of it and gotten further in contention, but he sort of entered the picture. And then of course Tommy Fleetwood shoots 69 today, ends up tied for third alongside Max Homa and Colin Morikawa. So those guys enter the picture. We're kind of in and around it. But in terms of like the groups that were the main sort of storyline, so obviously the one bringing up the kind of caboose was Bryson DeChambeau and Xander Schauffele. Bryson kind of fell out of contention early on, made a mess of 3. Xander kind of made a move early, but then dropped some shots later on, ends up shooting, I believe, it was a 73 today for Xander.
That was my feature group, was Xander and Bryson. So, it was Bryson. Man, he played so good on the backside. He hit so many good shots. He had some debris on his golf ball on the 13th hole.
Ooh.
Some may call it mud. I call it debris when I'm working the Masters.
Oh, there's even terminology for that.
I think so.
Look at you on your terminology.
Can't say the M word.
Are you going to be able to switch back? When
yeah,
you're done,
no, I'm going to go back into it. Mud ball.
I saw an old Bryson, or I mean,
mud ball.
Bubba.
Mud ball.
So
Bryson, what Bryson needs to do more is he drives it so good. I think he's a really good putter. But he has got to find a way with his iron game to just hit the 75% shot every single time. He hits his irons plenty far enough, but he could not hit a number the last 3 days. And when he did hit a number, it's when he swung it easy at 3/4 golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. You're just like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Hit a number. It just goes into this adrenaline mode, and then just when he wants to hit something hard, he's got this not just another gear, it's like 2 gears past that I don't know if it has anything to do with these new irons he's playing, which I don't think so. Like, it's because I think it's more of a correction thing with that. But we're gonna dive into the bulge and roll, trust me. But not today.
I mean, I have so like. Do we know when the set switches from single length to? I gotta imagine his wedges are shorter
6
than
iron. Yeah, it's like a 6 iron length.
But 6 does it all of his wedges aren't single length, are they? Or are they?
I don't know, man.
I in my mind, it's like after 9 iron pitching wedge, it goes down to like a more of a standard wedge length. Which
no, it's long. It's like
the wedges are long too.
Yeah,
that just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, and he pitched it like crap this week, and he had the chili chunks.
I mean that one I'm pitching yesterday.
I am so with you though on Bryson. I want to watch him play more. He is an electric factory. Just watching his ball speed was so much fun. It was fun to commentate him. He's electric.
Great reactions.
The content king. But it was like if Xander and Bryson played a best ball today, they would have played fantastic. Because Xander birdied every single par 5, and Bryson didn't birdie one par 5.
Wow.
So to me, that was kind of the story of that group. Was Xander played terrible except the par 5s, and Bryson played much better than whatever his score was. He birdied 4 and 5. I mean, come on, he did the hard things well, but he wasn't able to take advantage of his scoring opportunities and hit a number when he had to.
So that was that group. I never really felt like they were a factor at all.
They weren't. Trust me.
You would know. The next group up was Ludvig and Max. Ludvig starting the day at 4 under, Max starting the day at 5 under. So I popped out to watch this group because, both friends of the pod, both guys I love watching. I picked them up on 4 green and watched them through 7 green. And before we get to their play, the thing that struck me is, man, there was a ton of support for both these guys. In fact, it cracked me up. Like, here's Ludvig, this Swedish guy, and I'm listening to all these like Texans, these Lubbock guys just getting fired up after every putt he makes. I'm like, it's so funny, the different worlds that collide here in terms of supporting a player you love. This guy just made Lubbock his home for 4 years. But the thing that struck me is, like, Max is the people's champ. I mean, every single tee box he went up to, there was just like this swell of noise and, guys yelling at him, "Come on, man. Like, you're a dog, Max. Get it done." Like, it was just different than any of the other players. Like, there's that sort of genteel, sort of we're at the Masters, we're going to be very polished and polite, and it was just sort of different for Max. And I, when he does get it done in a major, and I think he will, like I think today was good for him. He needed to contend in the major. This is his best finish yet in a major. He needed to have this to kind of see what it's like playing under pressure on a Sunday at a major, and he will win a major. And when he does, I mean, it's going to thrill a lot of golf fans.
It honestly, I think that's why social media was so fun this weekend with the Masters, was the storyline of, holy shit, Max Homa might win the Masters.
Yes.
Because there was legit, everybody was so excited about that possibility, because why not Max? Everybody loves him. He's so easy to root for. And by the way, becoming one of the best interviews and quotes from his press conferences, just reminding himself that I'm a dog tomorrow. Like, yeah, like I'm cheering for that guy. Or talking about, how do you kind of the mental side of thinking about what could go wrong. And he said, when I start to get that way a little bit, when I think about bad things, I start to dream about all the things that could go right. And I'm like, insert that in my veins as well.
A great mindset. I mean, that was the other part that was interesting in contrasting those two guys in this group. And we'll get into like how that played out and where it went wrong for him, or right for Ludvig and then wrong again. But it was funny watching him in this very focused mindset where he was very kind of driven toward this goal. Ludvig looked like he was playing a wolf game with a couple of buddies, cracking beers and playing music on a Sunday. I mean, he was cracking jokes with Griner, he was cracking jokes with Joe Scovern. I mean, they were just having fun out there. And he's playing a major. Did you see the?
He looked relaxed, didn't he?
So relaxed, smiling after he made bad scores. I mean, he doubled 11.
Oh, the highlight of the day on 9.
When they knocked up.
I just thought about that. What did they say on the coverage?
I didn't hear what Nance said or what they were saying on the broadcast, but I watched the replay, and he gets the energy bar knocked out of his hand, and he like kind of mock like, "Are you serious?" at the guy, and they start laughing. He gets a big grin on his face, and he starts laughing. Like, this guy's. He's in second place. I mean, at the time, he's either tied for the lead or in second at the Masters. His first ever major he's playing, and he's out there like he's happy-go-lucky. Like, this doesn't bother me at all. I mean, that to me is, I think we got a little bit of a lens into his personality, and honestly, I think his sense of humor when he joined the show, and spoke to you at length, and in the podcast we did back in December. And I found him to be, we didn't really know much about him. Unpacking was a really interesting thing. I think as people get, more and more of a glimpse of Ludvig's personality, they're gonna love the guy, because he's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10 plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or Smylie?
Oh, wow. There's some connections there. He was.
No, what did you say?
I said he was Smylie. Like
You said he was. So you're saying I resemble the same type of game of Ludvig? Like, where are we?
Yeah, I mean,
where are we?
I think there are similarities. I mean, the stats.
The stats don't lie. Is that where you were going here?
The stats. I mean,
the stats lie.
Rookies that shot low rounds in their first Masters. You can frame that tweet. In fact, I might just frame it for you. Yeah. Yes, we have that.
Really good iced tea.
Great iced tea. But to get into their actual play, it was kind of back and forth. Max, got to 6 under, and Ludvig was at 5 early on. Then on 7, Ludvig hits it, and Max hit it left in the trees and kind of had to hit one. It kind of punched up short of the green, and then just didn't have a good spot to land his wedge, and then missed, not like an automatic putt, but missed one for par, and then makes bogey there. Ludvig stuffed the wedge tight, makes birdie. So when they flip, Ludvig's at 6 and Max is at 5, making that was 7, right? So then I think I'm trying to remember how they ended up going into the back 9, but it was
Ludvig and Max.
Ludvig and Max, yeah. And
well, Ludvig made that really big putt on number 9. He get to 3 under on the round.
That's right.
Got it to 7 under, correct?
That was
tying Scotty after he made birdie at the 8th.
Let me pull up the score.
Because Scotty went back to 6 under after bogeying.
That's right. It was that long. That was that long downhill putt at 9. Yeah.
Yeah. Because Scotty dropped back to 6, correct? Or did he drop back to 7?
Scotty dropped back to 6 at one point. Scotty made birdie at 3, bogey 4, bogey 7, but then he birdied 8, 9, and 10.
That's like when Scotty pulled driver on 10 and
dude.
hit a tight draw and just stuffs it at 10, and the whole locations. I think there's only one way to play this golf course, and he talked about this in his press conference I was just listening to. There's only one way to play this course, and that is the right way. Like you can like if a whole location is asking for it, you gotta take advantage of it. In 10, for instance, that whole location on the middle left part of the green, and gosh, I want to call it a pin because I couldn't all week. That pin on the front left part of the green, you got to go at it.
Yeah.
And Max did, so did Scotty. They took advantage of it. And I think Amen Corner. That's where this whole thing again.
That's where this group fell apart. It was Ludvig at 11. It was Max at 12. And Ludvig just hits that, just overcooks a draw at 11, hits the bank, was close, makes double there. And then Max, hits a shot that I think he thought he had the right number and just hits it, 3 yards too long, kicks up above the bunker, has to take it unplayable. And that's where this group unravels.
And let's just dive into just that shot on 11 and
Ludvig,
the one that Ludvig had.
Really only made 2 bad swings all day.
What you try to do there, you aim at the right edge of the green, and you just try to hit a straight ball, and maybe if it turns a yard, great. So he hits a 4 or 5 yard turning shot. Probably that's all it was on a normal day. So I always felt like the grass here was a little longer, which I felt like added more spin to the golf ball on shots coming into green. So just think about this: when you're hitting at an elevation, so when the green is sitting further down, you're playing 6 to 8 yards of down. So the ball's in the air longer, and the wind is off the right. So let's say he just hit a couple yard draw and he just tugged it just fractionally. We have wind that's pushing this golf ball more. You have a little bit more spin on the golf ball, so it's already spinning more than it normally would. You have wind pushing it that way, and before you know it, this thing is left to the flag stick and needs a break to stay on the green. And the thing that was, or the reason why it was such a bad miss, is where you have to drop there because it's a yellow penalty hazard. You can't. It's not a lateral hazard, which I kind of disagree with a little bit because technically, for most places, they use yellow penalty areas for when you have to go over it, when you have to, I guess, challenge
like a forced carry type situation.
Yeah, forced carry, and because it's like it's the creek in the pond to the left, it's lateral to me.
Yeah.
So I've never understood that, but that's why the 11th hole plays so difficult, because that second shot for a front left pin plays as out of bounds.
Yeah.
And you get to hit from 60 yards, but Ludvig's not going to make the same mistake again and hit in the water. You're going to hit it 30 feet past.
It's like OB light. It's like stroke in half distance, effectively,
Yeah.
right? And he probably would have liked to hit that wedge a little bit closer, but you don't want to do something disastrous and try to go at a pin, in an attempt to make a bogey and put that one in the water, because then you're really truly cooked. And to your point where you're just talking about, hey, you have to play this course the right way, and Scotty went about the right way. Two guys who were in that chasing pack who were as close as they got all day. Ludvig overcooks a draw, hits in the water. Colin Morikawa overcooks a draw, hits in the water. What does Scotty Scheffler do? Hits at the right edge of the green, maybe bails out a little bit too far right with a little bit of a cut on it, lands in kind of short, I don't necessarily short, like pin high, right of the green. He makes a bogey there, but he takes out the really, really big number. He drops a shot, but Colin and Ludvig drop 2. And I think that's, it's you got to know where you can take risks and kind of challenge, certain pins. You got to know where you just got to say, hey, I don't want to, knock myself out of the running here. And he did a great job of that.
And then Max, when that ball's in the air and you feel like you hit your number and it ends up in a spot like that, I think that is a summary of what we saw at Augusta National this week. Just too much unpredictability.
Do you feel like, how do you feel about the course conditions this week? Because for me in recent memory, I mean, this was as close to we always compare conditions to how close are they to U.S. Open conditions. And this is like as close as I've seen this course get to that in terms of, I mean, looking at those greens today, they were crispy. I mean, that was like a little white brown in it. And by the way, I thought it was, I mean, I thought it was entertaining. It depends on what you like. I mean, I think that there is.
That's a good point. It's what you like.
And there's sort of an identity of this tournament of the roars, in the second nine and guys making runs. And what we saw today was a bunch of guys fall away because the course was playing so tough. And I like the fact that what that did was isolate the truly elite player in Scotty. But a lot of people are going to say that made it boring, and I would have liked it to play a little bit easier. So to bring guys in the mix and make it more of a challenge. Do you have opinions on the course conditions this week?
I think the only mistake was that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It wasn't. I think they predict the weather. I think they were supposed to get more rain on Wednesday because they had the place dried out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, where players are saying, "Man, this place is playing ridiculously hard," and they only get 0.6 inches of rain, and they just didn't douse it with enough water. And I thought too, with how windy it was, I didn't think they moved tees up enough. I really think that 15, it would have been really cool. Just move it up 50 yards. Like, just give these guys opportunities to go for it in two. I felt like the course played too hard and played the same way for 3 days, where you just hung out for dear life. I mean, 32 straight holes, Max Homa didn't make a bird, and he's somehow two back. Like, that's a U.S. Open, and you can't do anything about the weather. But the setup, I thought, was okay, considering that you could have maybe put some more water on it, knowing that 30-mile-an-hour winds over, it was more than 2 days. It felt like it was 2.5 days. That would have softened the place up a little bit and just gave guys, just that unpredictable bounce that we kept seeing. I mean, I just think about Justin Thomas's iron shot he hit into 16 on Friday that lands on the right side of the green and one bounces into the bunker. I mean, that was a crazy bounce. And then you saw, I know Max's didn't land on the green, but that shouldn't get into the bushes there.
That was a hard kick. And that kind of ends it for him. That's a really interesting point you make, because I can understand.
I'm a big roar guy too. I like the roars.
You the roars are synonymous with Augusta. It's hard to not have the roars. I think that I can understand why, it's Sunday at a major championship, the major championship. I can understand why they don't want to put a ton of water on the course, but I think that's why your point about moving the tees up is a really good one. It's like, if you don't want to do that, find another way to make guys, because if anything, you're just creating a greater risk reward trade-off. You move it up, okay, you're gonna have a shorter club in your hand, but the greens are still firm, and you still could hit in the wrong place. You're gonna be in just as much trouble. So I think that's a fair critique, and it's interesting. It's exactly, you can't control the weather, but it was a little bit. I think that added to the anticlimax, that we kind of saw on Sunday.
Yeah, it was it's like a new thing now, the Scotty snoozer, right?
I'd not heard that until now. That's a good one.
Yeah, it's my new thing.
You just invented that?
Yeah,
I love
it's
that.
my new thing.
We're copyrighting that. That's
the Scotty snoozer.
Scotty snoozer. You heard it here first.
Can we get our stats department on something right now?
Okay, well, we could try.
You're currently looking at the stats department. Can you just give me a little bit of what Scotty just accomplished? I know I'll give you one of them that comes to mind.
Okay.
It's the first player to ever win, I think, 2 green jackets in a 5-year span, like of just competing, besides Tiger Woods. So him and Tiger are in that company, because we know he won 97 and in 2000. First player to ever win the Players Championship and the Masters in the same year. You're just going to Justin Ray right now, aren't you? You just typed in Justin Ray on Twitter.
As soon as you say stats department, it's like, well, yeah, I'm just going to go to add Justin Ray Golf on X Twitter.
Surely he's got something.
I don't know if Justin Ray, knows that. I mean, he knows you exist. I'm not sure he knows I exist, but thank you, Justin. You are the best. We're just going to read a bunch of your stats. So this is the Justin Ray stats segment. So Scheffler won the 2022 Masters by 3 shots. Nobody's ever won the Masters by 3 or more twice in a 3-year span.
Wow.
That's kind of amazing. Here's a Tiger Woods comparison. Tiger Woods in 2001, first one of the season, Bay Hill, second player's third Masters, and Scotty Scheffler just did that. So on a level with Tiger. I would say let's keep scrolling through here. We have The Masters champion has 3 wins and 0 rounds over par in 2024. It's a pretty good one. And then the last one is, after conquering golf, now Scotty Scheffler gets a bigger challenge, correctly getting a car seat installed without yelling obscenities.
Yes.
And that was our stat segment
yes. And
from
that's our
from
stat
Justin
segment.
Ray.
Okay. All right. So, Scotty, man.
Unbelievable.
Just absurd. And it's kind of wild to be in an era now, because it just seemed like where pro golf was heading, we had so many different guys that could win any week, where I just never saw a world in which there was just one guy you had to go beat again.
I completely agree with you. I mean, I think that that is the thing, and that he doesn't necessarily look like the guy that would be the bulletproof world beater or act like that guy, even though I think he does exhibit some of those, character traits. Like, I think that, when he was going through the putter struggles and he was outwardly displaying emotion and anger and frustration, that made me like him more, because I'm like, this guy just he has the dog in him. Like, he wants to win so bad. We know this, about his competitive nature. Sam Burns talked about playing ping pong with him, and he can't stand to lose at anything. So I think he has that in him, but just the way it comes out, it doesn't feel like Tiger. It doesn't feel like someone who is the guy. But I mean, it's truly insane. And I don't know what derails it or what stops it. Like, if he with the putter where it is right now, I mean, it's going to take, I don't know how we get to loss of form, because I think what was it? It was maybe he was on 8 or 9 where it's like he'd only hit 4 greens in regulation.
Yeah, but he gets up and down.
He gets up and down, and so it's like, okay, so you're telling me this guy, is coming off the best strokes gain approach year statistically since prime Tiger, and then he's dipped a little bit in the last couple of weeks, but he's still winning tournaments going away. It's like, I don't know what to throw at that guy to beat him. It's just, and maybe that's why I look at, if I'm spinning this forward, I'm thinking, could Ludvig be the guy? Could Ludvig be the guy that consistently challenges him for majors now that he's had a taste? He made 2 bad swings today, but he was right there. He was the closest guy to Scotty. Like, what's it going to take to make this thing interesting again? And Ludvig, I feel like, is our guy to make that happen.
Could be. And we'll discuss this more after. Can you sound the?
Can
you sound the buzzer?
Here we go. Oh wait, hold on. I do this all the time. Wait, no, is it this one? Wait, it's this one. No, it's this one. Okay.
The pizza's here. We'll be back.
All right, Smylie, we're back.
How about time for a pizza review?
It is time for a pizza review. Donato's.
Shout out to my boy Train. Go see him on Montgomery Highway, Vestavia Hills, Alabama. They serve the best pizza in the world, and they got one here apparently in Augusta, because I was going to try to order some pizza on the Uber Eats. And Donato's, always love me some Donato's.
Donato's of Evans, Georgia. Do we have that correct?
Yeah, and
good pie.
I have a buddy,
really
Davis, who lives in town, and he said there wasn't a Donato's in Augusta. So I didn't know what was going to show up on our front porch, but it was the same franchise and
same pie. Do you think it matches the
great za?
What you tasted tonight matches what you taste in Vestavia Hills, Alabama.
They're always pretty consistent, but you got to give the leg up on the quality control in Vestavia. So
that makes sense.
Just 0.5.
Yeah, because you're a little bit bummed about the banana peppers, aren't you?
They didn't put banana peppers on the founder's favorite. So
that's the pie. What comes on the founder? I had the pepperoni. What comes on the founder's favorite?
It was ham, sausage, and pepperoni, I think, and
it's
banana
supposed to
peppers.
be banana peppers. Yeah. All right. So what's your review out of 10?
That was great. If I burp on air, it's on me. But 9.
9 for you?
Wait, but if we're gonna go in port noise like the way he does it, it would have been a 8.0. Yeah,
8.0. Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm probably somewhere. I'm around 8.2, 8.3. Yeah, I thought it was. I had the pepperoni. Thin pie. I mark it down because the way it was cut.
They didn't do a good job cutting it. That's why the quality control I'm talking about.
It was. You said it was a party cut.
Party cut.
Yeah. It's a. There's a place I like in Durham that it does a similar cut, and I don't hate it, but it's just weird. I'm like, where am I supposed to be pulling this to get the piece out?
Normally, you're
Turns into
you're
a
supposed
mess.
to be able to just grab and go, and
Yeah.
it wasn't that way. I'm ripping the pizza apart. So I'm gonna give it a knockdown for that too. I'm gonna go down to a 7-8.
Okay, 7-8. Now I'm gonna stick at 8 too because it was a good pie.
Yeah,
It was the right mix of thin, but not too thin, flavorful, good dough, good crust, cross the board. So yeah, good pie.
got some more sweet tea too.
More sweet. we both loaded up on sweet tea. I feel like we did a pretty thorough Masters recap there. We talked about, and so I'm just wondering the direction in which we want to play it forward. You know, whether that's going to be talking about the next major on the calendar of the PGA, whether it's going to be talking about, you know, guys maybe came up short here that, you know, you'd like to make a run next time.
I think the only other note I have on the Masters besides that Scotty is our modern era Michael Jordan. He's going to score 40 points, and you got to figure out a way to put up 41. Besides that, I think the other note that we have in just little bottom storylines is Tyrrell Hatton.
Yes.
Top 12
Yeah.
in the Masters next year. Had to think that was like a subplot storyline that nobody really was talking about for a guy that's going to fall out of the top 50. And most likely, even if they start getting world ranking points, unless he plays well in the majors coming up and wins one, would have not been in the Masters.
It's gonna be very interesting to see what happens between this Masters and the 2025 Masters in terms of where we are in the world of golf.
I feel like a lot's going to happen.
I think a lot is
We'll be
going to
busy.
happen, and I think just this version of the tournament. We talked about like multiple guys from Live this week that, while fully understanding why they shouldn't just be able to waltz back into the PGA Tour picture, I totally get that. It's a more fun landscape with these guys involved.
I will say that John Rahm was kind of throwing a pity party all weekend, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Like he didn't win any awards for me.
But again, like I love that. Like we need the full cast of characters.
The hot takes.
Yeah, we're like
you're right.
John Rahm coming back and pouting about conditions is the John Rahm we miss. You know, like it's great. It's just there's just too many characters on this show that I want to come back. You know that I miss, and I think that I think it'll increase interest. I'd be curious to see the ratings this week because I know that. I think that the Thursday ratings were better than they have been in a number of years.
That was on ESPN. So, yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
I'm curious to see how it shakes out because I know Sunday was slightly anticlimactic, but you know you'd hope that there is more interest in this event than maybe we've seen. Some recent ratings have been down, and so it'd just be nice to kind of see some kind of a bump there of like, hey, golf is still in a healthy place in the TV department.
You know, I'm going to also keep buying stock on drone shots.
Drone shots, love them. I every time I think about a drone shot now, I can't help but think about the fact that Anthony Kim cold topped a ball at his first event back on Live because he got droned because there weren't drones as part of the broadcast the last time he was playing pro golf.
I love that the players have to be like, oh, dude, yeah, just kind of walking him through what a drone is and that they make noise and that you got to get used to it. And as well, we play music the whole time.
Well, and you have to drop from your knee, not your shoulder.
Yeah.
And someone had to inform him that Brooks had won like back-to-back majors. Like this guy's been off the map.
Other question real quick before
Okay.
we turn the page. What does Anthony Kim shoot this week?
Wow. That's a great. I mean, and I can say this because I am a Wild Cards fan. I'm on the record. I'm a big Wild Cards guy. I love Anthony Kim. I'll even go so far to say is we're talking about being a dad pod here. He did a sit down with David Faraday that was actually, I watched all 20 plus minutes of it. It was really good. And he was talking about, you know, how much it's meant to him to become a father and how he changed his whole life around. So like even though Anthony Kim's playing really bad professional golf right now, I'm a fan of him finding a new purpose in life as a dad. That's awesome. He shoots 1 million this week. 1 million.
So we're giving him 4 rounds. How many over?
We're going to let him play all 4.
Oh, he's playing all 4.
I think all 4 rounds are in the 80s.
Yeah. But how low, mid, high? 80s?
I don't. I mean, he's still got it in him. Like he's shot some good rounds on Live.
Yeah.
He's had a lot. He's had more bad rounds than good rounds, but there's something in there.
I need a number.
I think 40 over.
I think I'd set the over under right at 42.5. and I'm taking the over.
I take the under on that.
You would? You got 2 shots of wiggle room.
I think he figures it out one day. Like, I think he has like
Remember what they played in, dude?
Friday. What do you think he shoots Friday?
That's why I'm taking the over.
Do you think he shoots 90 on Friday?
Thursday and Friday, I think he shoots in the low 80s both days.
Yeah, so low. So he gets like 82, 82. Now he's 20 over. What's he shoot on Saturday and Sunday?
Gosh, I don't know.
I mean, I think I hope that experiment works out. I really do. Mostly because I think it's his are the dogs back for the third night in a row or four. It was a third or fourth night in a row.
That's our boys.
Yeah, that's our recurring guest on the show. How's it going? I think I really want him to be able to do it because his wife and his daughter are seemingly so invested in this comeback thing. I'd like for that to work out for them. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like it's going to happen anytime soon. And it really the interesting thing to me is the way they rolled that out. Like he only had picked up a club maybe 2 months before his first professional return. That to me was strange. So he's not been put in a good spot.
Definitely not, and we'll keep an eye on the wild cards and how they progress the rest of the year.
You want to keep an eye.
But
on
you
the wild
do
cards.
ask where are we going next, and I think I'd like for our research department to pull up the current odds board for the PGA Championship.
Oh, we can do that
because there's
do
two
that.
different conversations I want to have here. Besides, first off, what are Scotty's odds to win the PGA, and what are everybody else's odds? How high up is Ludvig? Is Max made a push up? And I want to have another general discussion on who is your number one pick to win a major championship that has not won a major.
So I'm wondering
because last year Wyndham, Brian Harmon. Well, I mean it's not obvious picks sometimes.
I'm wondering if they haven't fully updated this yet, because I think this tomorrow they should change this in a major way. But I mean, you could still wager on this right now. So clearly they have they think these odds reflect the current reality. Scotty Scheffler, of course, top of the board. He's plus 400, 4-1. I mean, that seems longer than it should be.
That's the dad bump.
That's they know he's going to be light on sleep. Rory McIlroy plus 900. They still like Rory 9-1. Obviously, he's won at Valhalla before, so that makes sense. John Rahm 10-1. Brooks Koepka 16-1. They still have Victor Hovland 18-1. We're gonna have this conversation on our RBC Heritage preview because he withdrew from that tournament. I love Victor Hovland. I root hard for Victor Hovland. He is in he's in a tough place right now. I don't know how he's gonna figure it out. But multiple swing coaches, we saw the frustration on Friday, missing the cut in the fashion that he did. It's a tough visual right now for Vic.
Yeah, I'm not picking Victor at number one.
No,
on the list of players who I think are going to win a major first.
Next up on the list is where I'd go. Ludvig at 18-1.
18-1.
He's gonna win a major this year. He absolutely is gonna win a major this year. And then from there, let's kind of quickly zip through. Xander and Cantlay both are at 20-1.
Where's Willie Z?
Next 25-1.
He's right in that category too.
He could be. And then you got Jordan is also at 25-1. Colin is at 25-1. Bryson's at 25-1. And then I'll just read you two more that are under 30-1. Wyndham Clark and Joaquin Niemann are both 28-1.
God, that seems like they have Wyndham Clark entirely. Like that price to me is way too high on him. I feel like he should be priced more like where Victor Hovland is at plus 1,800.
Yeah. I mean, if you gave me the option between those two guys, I mean, we're having the conversation. I would take Wyndham before I'd take Vic right now.
I don't see why Victor shouldn't be right now in the top 8 on the odds sheet.
Yeah.
For any big event coming up. I know he missed the cut this week, but let's let's just erase that from our memory and remember how good this guy's been playing.
Well, the strange part about it is that he played good golf this week.
Yeah.
We looked. Remember we talked about this on the Thursday recap. We looked up after 9 holes and he's 4 under, and we're like, we're idiots. Like we don't, like he's gonna go out and play well and it's gonna be fine. But then it's weird. It's like the inconsistency and just mistakes that like aren't really characteristic for him. It doesn't seem like the way he played 2 on Friday was a total utter mess. Like he hit his drive left into that mess of stuff, and he had to take an unplayable, and then he tries to hit like a punch draw and hits it back in, has to take another drop, ends up making 8 there, and then of course the day sort of culminates with the missed putt on 15 for par, and then he tries to tap it in and whacks it past and ends up making a double, and at that point his day was effectively over. And you could see how much it upset him, but that's why I just, in looking at that, there's a good player in there that is actually playing some good golf right now. It's like you just can't piece it all together.
Yeah, I couldn't be more with you. So can we come up with can I hear your picks?
Well, I mean, I think Ludvig is it. I mean,
So you would take Ludvig number 1.
Are you talking about guys who haven't won a major, who are going to win a major? Yes, Ludvig is absolutely. It's like clear of everybody else by a wide margin.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I think you can make an argument for Will Zalatoris.
Sure. I mean, like, okay, Will, Max Homa. I'm trying to think of some other. I mean, Cam Young is, but I mean, and this is and Cam actually had a pretty solid showing here.
I think Cam Young, man. I would. It's like Ludvig, Willie Z, and Cam Young, and I think
Xander.
Xander. Gosh,
Cantlay.
Oh my gosh, can't wait to. Oh god, you see, this is where
it's tough.
We need to draft these like back and
the
forth.
non-major. I love this. Yeah.
Let's like come up with a team of 5 real quick.
Okay.
4. Team of 4.
Team of 4. I like that. 4 majors, 4 players.
Yes.
All right. So did I get the first pick?
You
Ludvig?
get first. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna get Ludvig.
Xander.
Okay, and then you get another pick. It's a snake draft. We often get lost in the snake.
Willie
draft.
Z.
Okay, so you have Xander and Willie Z. I'm gonna go Max.
Cam Young.
Oh, no, I get 2. You
Shit.
I mean, how do we get lost in the snake every single time?
I forget. I kind of always think that I get 2, and then it just goes back and forth 1 and 1.
All right, let me think about this. So, all right, so I have.
If you want Cam Young, take him.
Well, no, I don't know if I want him. I have Ludvig and I have Max. Joaquin Neiman.
It's a good pick. Cam Young.
And then you get another one.
I do.
It's the snake draft. There are some intriguing names up there. I'll say that.
There's a lot of intriguing names. Oh gosh, I'm so.
I already know I'm gonna take last. So,
can we have like a sleeper pick as our 5th? It's like got to be considered.
Okay.
Like a what?
All right. So then you do your 4th pick, and then I'll do my 4th pick, and then we'll each go with one more sleeper.
Okay. Give me.
So this is your 4th. Your team right now is you have Xander. Who do you have?
Give me Sahith Thigala.
Wow. Okay. So your team is.
Would that have counted in the other category?
I don't know if he's a sleeper at this point. Maybe borderline. I mean, so you have Xander, you have Zalatoris, you have Cam Young, and you have Sahith Thigala.
Mm-hmm.
I have Ludvig, I have Max Homa, I have Joaquin Neiman, and I'm going to round it out with Tommy Fleetwood.
Golly, I thought that could be in the sleeper category, kind of, but I guess it isn't.
He's not really a sleeper,
he's not a
right?
Sleeper, yeah. Okay. Do I get to the first sleeper or do you?
You can go for a sleeper. I'll let you take that one.
Give me Sepp Straka.
I'm going to go Minwoo Lee.
Okay, there you go. Not really a sleeper, but same category.
Is he not a sleeper?
Minwoo and Sepp would be.
I mean, they're.
Yeah, let's call it. Yeah.
Okay, he's
2
not,
friends of the pod. We're going to keep it that way.
2 friends of the pod. That's right. I mean, I'd say. Okay, I mean, I can go a little bit further down the board.
No,
if you want me to.
No. It's fine.
You're good with that? Okay.
I think their world ranking is like Sepp's probably. Yeah, he's way higher anyways, but I think just. Minwoo's just more talked about, probably.
But
Sepp is a.
Minwoo hasn't won a PGA Tour event yet.
I think Sepp can ball strike his way to winning a
Absolutely.
major, and it wouldn't surprise me if it happened this year.
Yeah, that's your Sepp is more of a sleeper than Minwoo in terms of like public awareness. But we're talking about a guy Sepp who's won on the tour, and Minwoo's not won on
In the
tour.
Ryder Cup, yeah.
And played in the Ryder Cup.
And
Minwoo
Minwoo-
hasn't even played in a President's Cup.
Like, why doesn't Minwoo just play in a Ryder Cup?
I mean, it's kind of like Tyrrell Hatton being a great bet at the API, and no one took him. He would've
Are you sure Hatton didn't top 10 this year at the API?
I think you might have.
Okay.
I think that's a good way to kind of frame things. I mean, because we just listed a 10-player roster, of
And I could have gone
incredibly
way
talented
deeper.
players.
Like, I wanted to put Sam Burns on the team.
We didn't even take Cantlay.
Wait, we didn't draft Cantlay?
We did not. Notable omissions.
Watch Cantlay win the PGA. That would be comical.
Oh man.
LOL at us.
Well, this was. I feel like this was a good pizza-fueled conclusion to our Masters recaps this week, wouldn't you say?
And look at us. Like, we should be the tournament directors that determine sponsors invites, because guess what? We didn't pick one policy board member on any of the
Wow.
of that draft.
That doesn't make us anti-PGA Tour policy board, but I do think there's something to that.
I have a Cleeks hat inside. I think people are starting to realize we're neutral guys.
I think they're starting to come around to that. We're Cleeks guys.
That we like pizza and sweet tea.
We're wild cards guys. Although I was like, I was out there watching Joaquin this week, and I was like, I might be a little bit of a torque guy. He had on a sweet, it was this color green Ping torque hat. I was feeling like maybe I want to get, just see what's going on over there at Torque headquarters. Just want to dabble a little bit. We'll see.
If I check the Smylie Show account and I see tomorrow morning that we followed Torque GC, and then I go back and read the DMs and of us requesting to do some type of collaboration, I won't be shocked.
We're open for business, Torque. Whoever the decision makers are at Torque headquarters, just know that I was out there pulling for the squad. Big Torque guy. So, man, what do you think, man? Any final thoughts from the week? Any thoughts you want to leave the viewers, the listeners with after the first major of the year? Our first week with Sports Grid. This is, I feel like this has been a lot of some juice, man.
Yeah,
thank
you everybody for kind of tuning into the journals every night. It's been a lot of fun. I think just getting together, you and I in person, and doing these, I think it's a good start to the year. I think we got a great game plan for how we're going to continue to serve our audience with some great content, and looking forward to Scotty Scheffler winning the Grand Slam.
Yeah, I mean, let's see how high maintenance that child is, because as the father of a, oh wait, that was the wrong sound effect. So you're seeing this live.
Must be the sweet tea.
As a father of it, must be the sweet tea. As a father of a somewhat high maintenance child, we'll see where he gets on the sleep. But I mean, from all of us here at the Smylie Show, here. that wasn't actually, that was me. That was Larry talking. So now, Larry, please stop interrupting. Thanks so much for joining us this week. Ton of fun, echoing Smylie's words. The journals were awesome. We're glad you enjoyed them. A lot of fun feedback on YouTube. And yeah, send me proposed names for my daughter. I'll look forward to thumbing through those. Should be a fun read. Appreciate you watching and listening. We'll be here right back here with a RBC Heritage preview in the next couple days, and Smylie's interview with the Dude Perfect guys. It's going to be awesome. So we will talk to you soon.